Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. My name is Robin Fritz. I'm an intuitive and spiritual consultant, certified past life regression specialist. I'm based in Seattle, Washington, and today I want to talk a little bit about, can we fail a challenge? Because I know this is a tough subject that we all face, and we're going to talk about it from the aspect of body, mind, and spirit. And then I'm going to give you some ideas on how I've met challenges. And I'd love it if you chimed in from wherever you are. Tell me who you are, where you're chiming in from, and what your challenges are. So we'll get started on looking at how we face a challenge in a moment. But every week when we meet, we do a grounding and balancing exercise with the crystal Fallon. Fallon is citrine, Lemurian quartz. So focus on Fallon, focus on this crystal ball, and allow your intuition to connect with him. So you may see pictures, feel feelings, just know what's going on, even hear him chat with you, and enjoy that. This is your time to really connect deeply with your intuition and this crystal. So take your attention to the top of your head, to breathe down from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Just feel the energy joining with you, letting go of the cares of the day, and letting yourself be present here in this space with all of us. So breathing down from the top of your head, down your face, shoulders, chest, hips, knees, and feet. The top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Feel yourself settling in, relaxing, the cares of the day melting away, giving yourself this time. And now as you breathe up from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, welcome in this energy that will continue to help you get grounded and balanced. So breathing in from the bottom of your feet, past your knees, hips, chest, shoulders, face, and the top of your head. Feels great, right? And it works really fast. So it's your experience every week as we share together here in this space that Humanity Healing and Old Times have created for us. So again, my name is Robin Fritz, and today I want to talk a little bit about how we face challenges, right? So again, chime in with who you are, where you're coming from. Jeremy's saying Jereme is facing rage, so keep chiming in with your comments and where you're listening and watching from. So how do you face a challenge, right? So we all know that once our immortal souls take a body, anything can happen. And anything usually does, right? You know, things happen. So challenges are things that we face throughout our lives, and we can further break the challenges we face down into categories like body, mind, and spirit. And that helps us narrow the focus just a little bit more on what this particular challenge is and how we might meet it and how we might learn from it and hopefully not meet it again, right? Overcoming challenges. So let's look at mind challenges. Mind challenges are, in many ways are certainly our mental health, but also our education. How are you educating yourself? Have you got a good school education, but are you continuing to develop your mind, your thinking skills by talking with people, by getting different viewpoints, by sharing different viewpoints, by collaborating, by reading, by watching documentaries, whatever, by spending time in nature and allowing yourself to connect to what's out there, are all ways that help our mind to be able to meet a challenge. And focusing on our mind will also help us stay balanced and grounded. And when you're thinking also of your mind and of our emotions, you're also thinking about self-esteem and that most important thing, which is self-love. And I know from working as a medium, I know that a lot of us, alive or dead, do not love ourselves. So that's a challenge that we all face. So what about body challenges? So there are lots of body challenges, right? From the food we eat, the water we drink, to our choices. How do we stay fit and healthy? How do we take care of ourselves? What kind of exercise do we get? What kind of supplements do we need? How do we keep our body in the best shape possible so that we can continue to move around in the world as easily as possible? How do we deal with setbacks that occur with our body, whether we have an injury or an illness and we may need surgery or we're sick? Right now, I have a number of friends with a really bad cold that's been going around, and they're learning to deal with that. And we all have body challenges now and then. So how are you going to face those? What are you going to do? What are the steps you're going to take to overcome that particular body challenge? Another aspect, of course, is spirit challenges. And this can be really broad for all of us because there's the religious aspect, the religious perspective that a lot of us have, which can and often is different from our spiritual perspective. So there are the rules and regulations and the rituals that you may follow and really appreciate from a particular religion. But on top of that, what is your spiritual viewpoint? What do you believe is your purpose in the world? Why are we here? How do we connect with the world around us? And how is that spiritual? And how do we use our spiritual nature to connect with other humans to build a positive and healthy world? These are all spirit challenges. And included in that is how we view our ancestors. What effect have they had on our current lives? What do you know about them? If you know nothing about them, how can you simply sit and hold yourself in a place where you can thank your ancestors for being your ancestors and bless them as they continue to learn and grow from the other side? So also connecting with our spiritual teams, connecting with our beloved human and animal companions and family members who have passed on, and connecting with ourselves over multiple incarnations. How many of us have literally tapped into our past lives and had a chat with who we were then and what we learned? I can tell you it's a fascinating process. I was doing that spontaneously before I even knew what past life regression was, and it's very enlightening. It's a way to understand the experiences our soul has had that we may not be fully conscious of in our present lives, but may have an impact on them in terms of bringing us skill sets, knowledge of previous activities, and even insights into challenges that we're currently facing. So tapping into ourselves is always a great thing. So how do we face challenges, mind, body, and spirit? Okay, so I'm going to speak here from personal experience. I'm handicapped. I've been handicapped for many years. And before that, I was very active. So I had to literally learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to make allowances for physical limitations that I had. And I can promise you, it wasn't always fun. It was very frustrating. There were times when I'd set the buzzer on the oven for 20 minutes and yell and scream and cry. And then when the buzzer went off, that was it, right? So that was one way I met a challenge, by giving myself the opportunity to vent, but limiting it to a specific time. But there are some overall mindset things, and again, the body, mind, spirit things, the overall mindset things that we can learn from a challenge. And that is that giving up is not an option. You may need a break. You may need a timeout. You may need a day off from the challenges. That's fine. But giving up is not an option. Meeting the challenges, overcoming them in the best way possible, learning how we did that, that's all taking us forward as we continue to grow our souls in these bodies. And you may have to alter course, right? Just because you can't do things that other people can do does not make you less than. That's a lesson I had to learn. I could no longer do the things that other people did. When I went out with friends, they'd have to drop me off in front of where we were instead of parking and walking there. I had limitations. Certain people could accept that, certain people couldn't. You move on, you create your life. But altering course doesn't make you less than you were. It just makes you different, and different is fine. Be proud that you're smart enough to know what limitations you may have physically, mentally, spiritually, and work to overcome them. And then stick to the resolutions that you've made to keep moving forward. I could think that I'm less than because I can't do the things that other people do, or I can say, well, I figured out a way around that. And that works for me. And that's fine. And you always need a sense of humor. Trust me. Sense of humor is really important. It always makes things better. It always helps to also have a strong support team, right? So people around you, your human and animal family, your companions, people who just want to spend time with you and they don't care that you're having a tough time, whatever that is, whatever the challenge may be. And a challenge doesn't always have to be a tough time, right? Your challenge could be learning something new, growing at school, learning some new aspect of your job. So there are all kinds of challenges. But don't forget your spiritual support team, and don't forget your ancestors and your deceased loved ones, your friends, your neighbors, and yourself. Always know that you're your own best support team. And remember that you get to choose your response to the world. So there were many times over the years that I've been handicapped that I could have given up and just sat around and sulked and been cranky and not worked and not tried to learn and do new things. Instead, I chose to be as active in the world as I could physically and to enjoy it, to make friends, to grow my business, and to meet fascinating people. And that's a choice. You can be bitter and angry when a challenge sets you back, or you can choose to learn from it and move on. And what do you learn from it? Well, it's not that you deserve that thing that happened to you that created a problem. It's that that thing happened and you get to choose your response to it. It's like, well, I really don't like this, but I'm going to move forward. And that's where you become your own hero. And that's where you continue to grow your soul. So here are some of the things I learned I hope you think about. And I'm going to go back through the comments and we're going to talk a little bit about what your challenges are. So accepting a challenge, whatever it means, accepting a challenge means that you cannot fail. Whatever your challenge is, accepting it means that you cannot fail. That's a relief, right? You know, so because we can have some tough times, we can have some interesting times. We can decide, I'm going to go after that PhD and learn, and you may have a little setback or you may just have years of hard work, but you accepted that challenge. That means you cannot fail. Even if you end up walking away from that PhD, you're walking away from that job, walking away from that relationship. You learned what you needed to do, and that means you didn't fail. You may goof up, right? I have goofed up so many times. Everyone does, right? At least you can recognize it, you can learn from it, and hopefully you don't make that same mistake again. And you may achieve what you set out to do, which is also great, right? And you may also learn something you weren't expecting to learn, like how fragile life is, how valuable it is, how much fun it can be, how much work it can be, how hard and how necessary and how wonderful it is that you can continue to grow your soul. And okay, I'm going to make a quick joke here. You can also learn a new way to tie your shoes. Okay, so I'm left-handed. And every time I tie my shoes, they come undone at the worst possible time. And then I trip over my own feet. And it's like, hello, I'm an adult. I should not be tripping over my feet. So I quit learning how to tie my shoes the way everybody was trying to teach me and figured out a new way to tie my shoes. And now they stay tied, right? So it's kind of silly, right? But it meant that sometimes we have to innovate. Sometimes we have to figure out how to do things that work for us, even if everybody else does them a different way. So learn from that. So we're just starting out a new year and a new decade, right? And let's make an intention to meet our challenges, body, mind, and spirit, in the best way that we can. If we later figure out it isn't the best way, at least we learned, right? And we can keep moving forward, because the world may keep trying to tell us that we're not good enough, that we don't look good enough, or we don't fit in, or that we have to have certain ways of fitting in. And we all know that we're here to grow our souls, and that looks different for each one of us. But here we're all together in community, and this is where we can grow and share together. This is your place. So before well, let's talk here, and then I want to give you the crystal of the week that will help boost you up on here. So let's see what people have to say. Sherry's from Panama. Oh, thank you. Mexico. Yep. Jareem says, I love that name, Jareem. Buffalo, awesome. New York, Eastern Washington. Amanda says, anxiety has been her challenge for years. Boy, Amanda, I get that. Last week, my dog was sick, and then he got injured, and I was like beside myself, even though he wasn't that sick. It was triggering the memories of previous animals who had become sick and of critical things that ended up killing them, and it triggered anxiety, right? I totally get that, and a lot of things can do that. And we're here with you. Figure out, if you can, what the mind, body, spirit challenges are around your anxiety, and then write a response to them if you can. What is my response when I get triggered in traffic? What is my response when I get worried about the kids or worried about my job? And that sometimes helps. I know last week it was like, okay, what is the situation here with my dog? What do I need to do about it? What do I want to do about it? How do I go about doing that? And then, moving on. And hopefully we get to do some dry runs of things before we reach a critical mass. So figure out the body, mind, spirit aspects of what your anxiety is, what you've done for it so far, what has helped and what hasn't helped, and what those next steps are. It's not easy. That's your challenge. And I hope that you can add some of these things to it, like a sense of humor and appreciating the fun things in life, and all of the things that you can do to keep moving forward with that. Thank you for sharing that, Amanda. And let's see. Florida, how are we? Are all fine here today. Illinois. Alice Shika wants to know, I don't know if that's from Moratorius. I don't know what your question is. You want to know what yours are, what your challenges are. Everyone has challenges, from how to learn to earn a living, to how to learn to get along with the people around you, to how to deal with a rainy day. And it's a matter of what is important to me. How does that fit into the world around me? How can I isolate the challenge so I know specifically what it is, and what are these various solutions that I can choose from? Because we all have different options. And sometimes, really we face really terrible challenges, things that are threats to our livelihood, things that are threats to our personal lives. And those are tough, and we need a community to support us on that. And while you get community support here, each of us should have people nearby, from medical professionals to people who run grocery stores and so on, so that we have that community around us. I hope that helps. Treasure life's dreams and frailties. Yes, perfect comment. Frogs. your past life, you scared frogs, and now they scare you. That's cute. I love that. Could be, right? I know someone who was afraid of alligators, and she never met one in her life. And then she remembered a past life where she had been killed by one, dragged under the water and drowned. I guess they can bury bodies under the riverbed to come back to later. I know from past life regression work that I've done with clients that we can be triggered by lots of things. One person had issues with teeth. She was really worried her whole life about her teeth, which were fine. But we uncovered previous lives where they were not fine and they were very crippling to her life. And it was very enlightening to know that sometimes our soul is remembering those previous lives. What I find really interesting, which is a digression, and we'll go into this at another time, is how close our animals are to their previous lives. And it's astonishing, really, because they don't have the filters that we have of ego and all of the things that humans, go like, oh, well, that can't be right, or that can't be right, because we're always second guessing ourselves. Animals are like, yeah, we were together in this lifetime and that happened. Yeah, so what? Now we're in this lifetime. Very close to their previous lives and pretty much don't care too much about what they were. They're moving forward in this one. I'm having trouble scrolling here, so I hope I got to. Christy's had heart surgery and it's very hard. Oh, Christy, truly, I have not had heart surgery, but I've taken care of 3 people close to me who have, and it is a hard thing to recover from, but so glad that you had it, because your heart is your life, right? And I'm so glad you're here with us. It's hard to recover from, I know that. And I hope you have really good support team, because that's an emotional thing as well as a physical thing. And it's something that you get to explore and should. And I know my mother went through, well, both my parents did, but after my mother's surgery, she went to an exercise place where they, monitored, and the people were horrible. My mom was trying to get past her fear and enjoy herself, and they kicked her out. And I was livid about this, because not only were her feelings hurt, but her physical recovery was hurt as well. So, Christy, find the people that are going to support you with love, with humor, with patience, and help you keep moving forward, because, oh my gosh, life with a healthier heart is amazing. And keep chiming in and joining us here so that we can continue to support you. Oh, I see I'm scared of frogs. I have no idea why you're afraid of frogs. Frogs can be poisonous, and I don't know what else. Who knows? Who knows what triggers those things? You'd have to do a real deep past life regression to find out. The question is, would you want to do that to find out, or you just go, wow, there's something somewhere in my life or my past that triggered me about frogs? And it may be a childhood thing from this lifetime that you've completely forgotten. And at times when I've helped people with past life regressions, we've gone back to childhood where they completely forgot something that occurred then. So I had pet frogs when I was a kid, but I think anything can be scary if you have had a bad experience. So we're running out of time here. So I want to thank you all for chiming in here. Nancy says, organized religion keeps us in slumber. Perfect statement, and very true. And there are all sorts of reasons for that. And this is a place where we can move beyond organized religion and live in a mind, body, spirit place where our spirituality is important, but not tied to any rules or regulations. And yet we still come together in community to create together. So before I end today, I want to share the crystal of the week. And oops, I had it here. Yeah, red jasper. So this is a cool piece of red jasper, right? I mean, look how big it is. Fits right in the palm of my hand. Red jasper is a great stone for today in terms of talking about meeting challenges, like how you can't fail a challenge because you meet it the best way you can, right? Um, this red jasper has dark veins of brown in it. It may also be other colors, and it's a nurturer. It helps provide tranquility in times of stress. For someone who said she suffered from anxiety, red jasper would be a great, here we go, a great crystal to help you get grounded and balanced, help you support you, boost your inner strength, so boost determination and willingness to face challenges, support your courage, which can be necessary in tough times. Christy, with your heart, red jasper will boost your courage and your energy boundaries and help you in a tough time, supports quick thinking, helps us reveal problems before they become unmanageable. So if you feel like red jasper resonates with you by just observing it here on the video, you might look for a good piece of it. Find a dealer either in your area or online that really takes care of their crystals. There are lots of people, I don't want to knock China, but a lot of people buy crystals from China and they aren't healthy crystals because crystals are alive too, right? They need to be treated respectfully. So find a good crystal source. I have one here in Washington State. You can find them, Earthlight Rocks and Gems. You can find them on Etsy. But crystals, I love crystals. Put sea salt around you. I have lavender all around me as well. Things that remind you, body, mind, and spirit, that your focus is on this whole self. Your focus is on meeting your challenges as best you can, continuing to move forward, and continuing to allow yourself to feel what you feel, to feel worried, to feel anxious, to feel tired, and to know that you can take specific steps to move beyond those things, to get over them, to feel better, to keep moving forward. Sometimes it takes a really long time. As I said, I've been handicapped for many years, so I know how long it can take. But I also know that we can meet these challenges in ways that keep us moving forward, to keep us growing our souls. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you come back next week. Again, my name is Robin Fritz. I offer personal and business intuition, mediumship, animal communication, space clearing, and of course, past life and between life regression, a healing process, an energy healing process I call soul progression clearing, as well as regular energy healing. And I'm also opening up, which got sidetracked by life events as in a sick dog, an online mentoring program. Let me know if you're interested in that. It's going to be online, $25 a month, where we are really going to dig deep on helping you tap and use your intuition in your own life. So we'll find out how each of you, how your own individual intuition works. And that is very practical stuff. This is not mystical woo-woo stuff. This is your intuition, your healing skills that we all have. And we're going to cover those as well as mediumship and animal communication right here, face-to-face online every month. But also, please join in supporting Om Times and Humanity Healing, their radio shows, their magazine. They have tremendous things that offer everyone every week. So find out those things, join up, like these pages, Humanity Healing, like my own page, The Practical Intuitive Robin and Fritz, and come back next week. Now, energy healing, very simple. Hands on your heart, and just breathe into your palms of your hands and imagine that you're tapping healthy energy, and just breathe it in and get you regrounded, breaking that connection with Fallon. And at any time during the day, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, hands on heart, inviting energy healing to your entire body, to your entire mind, to your entire spiritual life, body, mind, and spirit. Thank you for joining me. Come back next week. Let me know what you'd like to talk about. Take care. Thanks.